Okay, first off, before we get into anything, I gotta say, regardless of what the title might say, there are parts of this movie that I did find enjoyable. It's just that the overall package wasn't altogether there, if you get my drift. Now, what I think about the movie overall, honestly, it's probably the weakest of the trilogy, in my opinion, and I'll honestly just give it like a 6 out of 10 on a good day. But yeah, let's just get into my thoughts. First up, let's get into the plot. So anyway, the movie begins with Rocket, of all people, who is probably the main character of this movie. Well, anyway, it begins with him as a baby, and as a baby, he's being experimented on by this dude called the High Evolutionary, which is a very stupid name, but regardless, we're moving on. Anyway, he's making the High Evolutionary is trying to make animals into humans, trying to make them more anthropomorphic, I think. Sorry, I'm not American, I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, so he's doing this to animals, but then Rocket is obviously like, bro, that's a dumbass idea, which it is. But then the High Counselor dude is just like, you know what, screw you all, and just begins like murdering animals for no reason. Because, I don't know, his high ambition is to make another Earth, like a counter Earth, with like anthropomorphic animals the whole time, which, why? But anyway, whatever. The High Counselor murders all of the animals except for Rocket, who like scratches his face and escapes. So anyway, now it's present day and everything's going cheeky-breeky, you know, everybody's happy or whatever. But then their home, which is in the base of a skull for some reason, is attacked by Adam Warlock, of all people. Yeah, I remember that from like 8 years ago from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Like, they just sort of teased him and then did nothing with him. Well, here he is, and then he definitely shows up in the movie as an antagonist for the most part. Well, anyway, he attacks because, remember back in the day, Rocket stole some batteries or whatever, that sort of thing. But now, since the High Counselor dude wants Rocket back for his intelligence because he wants to recreate it, and you know, now Adam's here just to take Rocket back to custody, I guess. But then Rocket gets injured, everybody's so sad about it, but they can't heal him because apparently the High Counselor dude put a kill switch into him, which is something he apparently thought of. Sure, whatever. Anyway, now the rest of the Guardians have to go and to this place called... So, hold on, let me read it out. Orgo Corp? That's a weird-ass name. Anyway, in order to find a way to override the kill switch. So anyway, the Guardians take the Ravagers and Gamora with them. Gamora, if you don't remember, died, spoilers, in Infinity War, but now she's back, but she's not the same Gamora that she used to be because all of the character development that she went through has been erased. So she's a bit of an asshole now, which, you know what, fine, whatever. And then her and Peter have their whole big-ass discussion throughout the movie of him trying to, like, woo her again, but it doesn't work because obviously it's technically the same person, but with different memories, different experiences and stuff like that, so obviously it will not work. Anyway, she accompanies them regardless, and then a whole bunch of nonsense happens, right? The Guardians go to this planet full of like anthropomorphic animals. They just sort of chill there for a little bit. Then a whole bunch of other nonsense happens. Basically, they destroy the planet in the end. That's all you need to know. So anyway, there's like a huge ass battle between the High Counselor's troops and then the Guardians, and all this other nonsense happens. But eventually, they do get the kill switch code from this one other dude. And they managed to rescue Rocket, who is having like a weird death flashback to his animal friends back in the day when they died. And they're just like, bro, you can't give up now. They still need you or whatever. So power of friendship brings Rocket back to life. Oh, and Adam Warlock's mom dies, just in case you guys cared, because I didn't. Anyway, a whole nother battle happens. Basically, Rocket discovers some other baby animals, like a bunch of baby raccoons. That are there, and then he rescues them. They kill the High Counselor dude, you know, everything's cheeky-breeky, everybody's happy, you know, stuff like that. And then Adam decides to do a whole 180 and becomes a good guy for no reason at the end anyway. So yeah, and then after that, it's basically the end of the movie. The Guardians decide to disband, like Quill's going to Earth, Rocket is the new team leader, because of course he is. And then everybody just decides to go their separate ways, which is, you know what, that's fine, I can dig it. I'm not too mad about it. Then in the post-credit scene, Quill actually meets his grandfather, and that's basically how it ends. So yeah, first off, let me just get some of the things that I actually liked out of the way, and then we'll get into my problems. So first off, honestly, I kind of like the story. I kind of like the focus on Rocket for the most part, even though he's like dead for like a third of the movie. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. I like the fact that he's dealing through his trauma. I like the way that he's, dealing with all of his issues, that they have a profound effect on him. And I kind of like that, he has to deal with it. And in the end, he kind of gets over it. But yeah, I kind of like that. I also like the music, obviously. The music choices are, top notch. Visually, this movie is not as, colorful as the other two were. It's more dull and stuff, probably because of the more serious tone of the movie. But honestly, I didn't really mind it that much. But, if that's a big issue for you, you might have an issue with that. But for me, it was fine. All right, now let's get into the plethora of issues that I have with this movie. So first off, a lot of the Guardians are not being focused on, at all. Sure, they're there, they show up, but they're not central to the story, at all. Like Drax, or freaking, what was her name? Mantis, or... Damn, I even forgot all their names. But yeah, they're just there, the background characters. They don't matter to us, to the story, at all, right? And in addition to that, there's, these weird sappy moments with them as well. The director's trying to make you feel something for them, even though it's, undeserved. And I really hate that. Stop trying to force me to have an emotion. It's not going to happen. It's just going to piss me off, which it did. I alluded to this earlier, but Adam Warlock is just literally there. He's not central to the story at all. He's just a guy. He just shows up, blows some stuff up, and then leaves. That's literally his entire point of the story. When I saw him in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I thought it was oh man, he's about to go fight Thanos or do something cool or, do something like that. Nope. He's literally just a golden dude. That's it. And his mom sucks too. And the humor, don't get me wrong, it's probably the best humor it's been since Spider-Man 3. But man, I'm so sick of this Marvel humor, bro. It's the same damn thing over and over and over again. It's the same formula. And guys, come on, can we not find something else? There's this whole scene, it's probably in the trailers, I think, where, what's her name? Nebula is, trying to open a door. And it goes on for, 3 minutes. Bro, it's a freaking door. How do you not know how to open a freaking door? You fly spaceships. It's so damn annoying sometimes. Now, I'm not saying that this movie's like Thor Ragnarok, where they just throw a bunch of what they consider to be humor at you and doesn't make you laugh at all, because there are some sequences which I did consider funny, unlike Thor Ragnarok. But for the most part, for 2/3 of the film, I was just rolling my eyes bro, can we move on? It's not that funny. One thing I forgot to praise earlier was just that I actually kind of like the action in this movie. It's actually pretty well done. There's not a lot of shaky cam or quick editing. Oh, let me get back to the editing in a second. But for the most part, the fight scenes, I can't complain. As for the editing, especially towards the dialogue, that was horrendous, because they kept every 2-3 seconds, they kept just switching the camera to a different person, even though somebody else was speaking. And that's what the hell kind of direction was that? James Gunn, dude, were you having a seizure? What the hell was going on there? Who edited this film? But yeah, overall, I'd say that this movie is competent. Okay, it's probably the best movie we've seen since Spider-Man 3. And that's the best praise I can give it. But yeah, I just wish that this movie just had more effort, more laughs, something different, And it just feels like a high-tier Marvel movie. And that's just it. And I'm just kind of sick and tired of the same thing over and over and over again, and I kind of wish for something different. By the way, if you're gonna take your kids to this movie, just know that there's a lot of weird semi-horror moments in this movie, which is a little bit weird, but it is true. And yeah, just know that this movie gets a little bit dark, especially with Rocket's backstory. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.